I was going to tell you this anyway. So I had a thought when I was talking to Parker about like she spilled nail polish on the floor. So as you know, we were cleaning up the room, and I like knocked everything off the dresser, not knowing that in the pile of that stuff, you saw the dresser, like it had no nail polish being open on that dresser. Period, just had no business being open, and especially under clutter and stuff like that. So nail polish spilled. She said it came from because it was on the dresser, but I'm telling her regardless of the nail polish being open or not, it shouldn't. That's not the place to have it. So basically, what I was thinking was like, you can't prevent the nail polish from falling, but you can prevent it from being open. So it's like only so many things you can control in life. Like the bottle has the potential to fall. There's nothing you can do to really help that. But what you could have did was take better care to make sure it didn't fall. So that's like with anything. Like you can't control anything outside of yourself, but the only thing you can do is to take care of what you can. So if she would have took better care of it, it would have fell, but it would have been protected. The carpet wouldn't have been affected. Kids wouldn't have got into it. Wouldn't have a mess to clean up afterwards. So that just had me thinking like, dang.
Yeah, that's it. So in your world, we all live in our own world, right? So in your world, like you said, if she would have did that, then that wouldn't have happened. That's your world that you live in, right? Everybody that's not in your world is in their own world, so they can only do what makes sense in their world, right? So in your world, you're like, why in the world, why would you leave it? In her world, she's like, I put it on the dresser, and I wasn't thinking about it being open. It's all, everybody's in their own individual world, living their own lives, and all we can do is adjust accordingly based to what's happening in the world that we all live in. But
you're talking on a broader perspective. I'm speaking on like parenting. So parenting is to teach a child in the moment. Like it wasn't literally. So it was about the nail polish. What I'm saying it was about the nail polish, but then again, it wasn't. So the nail polish was a metaphor for just being prepared, and you can't prevent circumstances from happening in your life. But what you can do is to be mindful. You can't stop things from falling. Like it's almost like going into a construction site, right? You can't control a brick or something debris from hitting, but going in that environment, you probably should wear steel-toe shoes, right? You can't prevent what's going to happen, but you're prepared because of the environment that you're in. So the literal sense is like the room is cluttered. It has a potentiality to spill. So it's just the preparedness of that thought. Like regardless of you can't control cleaning up, but you can't control it falling. But you're like, hey, it's cluttered. Maybe I should protect this because it has more of a potential to fall. You can't control anything. But do you see what I'm saying? And that's even for like you said, it's in my world. But okay, like when you said it was in my world, what do you mean? Like,
so I mean, basically, in her world, she said, her mind, put it on the dresser. It's cluttered, it's messy. If I would have put it on the floor, I know it got tipped over. But I put it on the dresser. She don't, that's in her world. In your world, you like, I'm coming in here to clean up. I'm putting all this stuff on the floor. It don't matter what's on the dresser. You don't think about, you're not thinking it would be something open on the dresser. So in your world, you're like, I'm putting it on the floor and then it spills. So it's nobody's fault. It just is what it is. Like you said, it don't matter. It got to get cleaned up anyway, but it's just understanding that there's nothing you can do. You could have done to prevent it. There's nothing she could have done. If she would have did different, then it would have been a different situation, but it's up to her to learn that on her. You know what I mean? Like she has to figure that out over her lifetime journey, like, if I know it's not going to spill, okay, I did the first step, which is to not put it on the floor, but okay, next step, put it on the dresser, but it's like, it's layers, okay, well, if it's not messy in the first place, then
I guess like, I think me and you are talking from two different perspectives. I'm just talking about like controlling your controllables and being as prepared as you can. Life gonna life. You can do, literally. I'm just saying, but you can only do what you can. That's it. But do something. Do something. Right? Like you can't do and control everything, but you can use what you have to help you and to help others. So not to go on a tangent, but it's still like you remember the Malcolm Gladwell book, like with the trash and stuff like that, like the graffiti in the subway.
So exactly.
You think something insignificant as hopping the sub or graffiti, like you walk past the graffiti and you didn't take the time to clean it up or address it or make a stink out of it.
Yep.
So in my natural state, I'm like, why would I make a fuss or a stink about something that seems so insignificant and so small?
Yes.
But the ramifications and how something like that snowballs, it encourages other bad behavior.
Yep.
It affects their environment. It gives cues, like you said in the book, it gives cues to, hey, it's okay to be this, it gives cues that this is that type of environment where anything goes.
Yep.
There's no structure. There's no, what am I trying to say? Basically, it's not an environment where high standards are placed.
Exactly.
So that's I guess that's the standpoint where I was coming from that train of thought. Like you can't prevent things from happening, but like one small thing can turn into something crazy.
Yep.
Like the bottle of nail polish, right? This is just a metaphor. So since it was open, I guess the who doesn't matter in this context of which I'm saying. Like it was open. So now we got to figure out how to get it cleaned. Now we got to take time to clean it.
Yep.
You know what I mean? It's like the snowball of that just one thing that was insignificant and small, like putting the top on that nail polish bottle has now caused this ripple effect of stuff. But if you would have just took the time, that one little thing, just twist, 2 seconds. You see what I'm saying?
That makes sense. I mean, that's the thing. Like so that's why I was saying we all are in our own world. So and I guess the thing is,
I'm just saying,
okay, like the nail polish spills, you're saying, it's okay, whatever, it is what it is. So try to do better. But it's like from your perspective, in your world, understanding that nobody, it's like if she does or she doesn't, you're not, you keep, okay, try to do, that nobody's ever going to,
We're talking about it from two different perspectives. Like you're talking about my world and her world. I'm talking about from the analogy of what I learned from the book, and I'm being methodic, like I'm applying it to my life, and I'm seeing a circumstance of like how that happens.
Yep.
So I'm asking you to speak to what I just explained to you.
So to me, it's all about, like I was saying, we're all in our own individual world. So like you're saying, what you learned from the book, you're applying it to your world, which is like you're saying, in your world, when you see that mistake being made, it can snowball. And what I was saying was that makes sense, but it's up to you to understand that you would be like, okay, I know not to do that, but that doesn't mean everybody else would know. You know what I mean? Like, and it's like, okay, you're teaching and you're trying to explain, and it's understanding that, okay, I'm trying my best to teach you because I understand, and maybe you don't understand yet, but that's part of your journey of life to get there, basically. You know what I mean? Like to whoever you're teaching that to. Like you're like like that.
I know, but we're teaching to the folks on the podcast that's listening on the podcast. So I guess like for the audience that's watching this video, like what's the takeaway? It's not my world, Parker's world. It's like what is that allegory that I just created? Like what is the theme of what we're trying to convey to them? Like where are you trying to teach the audience?
So for me, it's all about understanding that
from this specific scenario.
From this scenario, literally, the most important thing is being present, which is to understand that if the nail polish got spilled, like you're saying, you understand that long-term ramifications. You need to learn that to just put the top on, but you understand that in the moment, okay, it happened. You clean it up and you keep trying to teach. You don't get frustrated. You don't say, what in the world? Like you understand that because you learned from the book, like it's literally a pattern that's going to lead to, it's already starting that where you're putting the top, you understand that because you have that knowledge. So you're trying to teach it. But what I'm saying is understanding that it may happen again, and
happening again or preventing the behavior is negligible. Like I'm not talking about like how to teach her how not to do it again. I'm just using the analogy. Like my thought when I was addressing that issue or going through the issue is like, wow, like I really see how something small can have an impact on your environment overall.
Yep.
So what I'm trying to convey is setting a standard and a culture and making something small into something big.
Yep.
Sometimes is not a bad thing to do because that, well, at least I know from what I understand now is letting something slide that's small will lead to more ramifications and a ripple effect, and lead to more behavior. It may not be a nail polish, maybe the ketchup, to keep it in the kid realm. Maybe.
Oh, it's like you said, it's going to be. It's never until they get it. It's always going to be something, basically, until they understand. And that's why I was explaining. Like, okay, you understand it, and like you said, and it's interesting to be on the other end. It's literally like understanding something and having kids, parent. I mean, the person on the other end doesn't matter, because the fact of the matter is you understand it and they don't, and you're like. You are literally like it's going to be a ripple, and you're like, what in the world are you doing? And like we're saying, you understand it, so you're trying to teach it, but it's up to them to get it. Like until they get it, it's like what? Because you see it, okay, all right, you leaving this, like you said, you put that graffiti. Nobody's gonna care, and they're gonna keep. It's gonna be a mess on top of a mess. You see that, you knew that before you even like you. That's literally how it go. But to say, okay, how can you get anybody else besides you to understand it?
Well,
that's the key.
I guess this is a thing, like what I'm, just expressing here now is like, I see that, but I guess my question is to myself, am I the person to leave the ketchup bottle open too? Or am I the person to not put things back? So, like I'm questioning myself, like, am I modeling the behavior where it's okay for me to say, hey, like even like when like we do train our kids, like ask to get up from the table, clean up your plate, sweep the floor. Like, what are you doing? You going up, go play. Like, this is like the nail polish is something outside of like, it's the same principles that we teach at the dinner table. They just have to get translated elsewhere in different areas of our lives. Like, we understand that this method of thinking, this philosophy of thinking, we understand it, but kids think it's literal. It applies to, I do this when I do that. It's a mindset and a way to be. So I guess to instill that philosophy is just to make sure that like I'm up, not just with the kitchen, it's with your room. It's with the bathroom.
Literally with life.
Right. So like last night, for example, I went, when I was going to get the baby's bath water, I saw the toilet paper holder and the roll of toilet paper on the sink. I literally knocked on the door. Did you hear me? I knocked on the door and said, hey, who had the toilet paper? Me. Well, why didn't you put it on the roll? I don't know. Go put it on the roll. It's simple. Like, you being mindful, like even like when you come in the house, like your dress is on the floor. I asked you to hang up your dress. Why aren't you taking those 2 seconds to be mindful and present? It's 2 seconds of your life where you don't have to hear your mama mouth. You know what I mean? So it's like reiterating that principle over and over again to the point where they understand. So what I'm seeing now is it's not the thing. It's not the nail polish. It's not the ketchup. It's not the getting up from the table. It's not the hanging up of the clothing. It is the mindset.
That's it.
Like, I have something better to do, or I'm in a rush to do the next thing, or I'm on to the next thing. I'm strip it off, or I get I'm done with it. Like I have to figure out. Well, I guess I know what I'm trying to say, but it's like the root cause of it is the way they think about their stuff and how they process handling their stuff. It's no love and care in what they do.
You hit it on the nose. The only way, best, worst, only way to teach it is to live it, which is what you said as far as like you leading by example. And that's what I was saying. That's all you can do. Like in life, like we talk about this. It doesn't matter if you're talking about kids or relatives, anybody that where you understand something and they don't, it's frustrating because it's like, if you would only do this, like you said, it takes 2 seconds. But it's like to you and to the people that understand, yes, it would take 2 seconds. We understand how the long-term ramifications. But a person that doesn't, they're like, I got to do this, or I'm not even thinking about that. And it's frustrating because it's like, you don't get it. But that's the key to life is to, the more you understand, the more you live your life the right way, which makes sense to you, the more everybody else, it will affect everybody.
Right, I agree with you 100%, but like, I'm not even going to like front. So yes, it's kind of like, not to go deep with it, but it's kind of like, being like being Christian. Like I do all the things because it's the Christian thing to do. It's the traditional thing to do. But my heart's not really in it. I'm doing it as a form of like because I have to, and I'm not really thinking about it. Like I pray over my food.
Yeah,
and I really understand that prayer really works, and or not having an optimistic mindset. Like I know now that what I think about myself and how I view things and from my perspective, it really affects my being.
Yes.
So it's kind of like I'm getting deeper into it in my life where I see like it's not a joke.
Yep. It's real life.
Right. So,
oh, man.
So yes, I tidy up after myself.
Yes.
But now I understand if I don't take those 2 seconds, what will that lead to?
It's the graffiti. It's the
graffiti.
Same thing.
So I guess,
man.
I guess so. You see what I'm saying now?
Yep.
Like, no, I'm not making it, but it made me like that nail polish spill made me check myself.
Yep. There
it made
you go.
me look at her and try to figure out like what's up with her, which is also a reflection of me. Like, am I not? So I just really embraced this principle, right?
Yes.
Like I was ritual.
Yep.
Wash the dishes.
Yep.
Wash the like we teach our kids, and this is getting deep because
Yep.
I feel like it's just coming to me. Like, we teach our kids the ritual.
Yep.
But we need to really teach them the principle.
Mm-hmm.
It's not about the thing. We talked about this earlier when we was watching Sarah. It's not about the thing.
That's it.
The thing is the thing. But the way you do it is the mindset behind what you do that makes a difference.
Yep.
So I don't want her to wash the dishes or put her stuff away because I said so.
Exactly.
I want her to say like, this is my home.
Yep.
When I come back in the kitchen, I want it to be clean.
Exactly.
If I don't clean it up today and I let them stack up, it's going to be a pile of dishes. Now it's a mess. Now we have ants. Now we got to get the ant clean. Like your sloppiness is just like we always use the analogies of good and bad.
Yep.
But it's a parallel of both.
Yep.
If you open up a little bit.
Yep.
You let a little bit in, and that's a metaphor for life.
Just leave it, and then this boom, 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 boom.
Yeah. Yeah. But I mean, and we talking about it from a negative sense, but just imagine what kindness would do.
Yes.
Or you picking up that piece of paper.
Yes.
Other people see you, they're gonna want to do it. So literally, what we just kind of described as being a change you want to see in the world.
That's literally it.
But you have to know why you want to change. You can't
just do it.
No.
I saw them do it, so I want to do it too.
Right. Or you can't like in this one book I'm reading, it's saying like people like do things because they want to be seen for it.
Yep.
You're not being a change agent for it because you're not spreading the principle.
Mm-hmm.
You're spreading the act of the thing.
Yep.
Like a person needs to see your heart posture and your will and your heart posture, which is really like your mind. In the Bible, when they say heart, it's in your mind.
Yep.
The way you think about things impact how you do it and impact how people view you and want to do it. So if I see you picking up the paper begrudgingly, like I'm picking it up, that doesn't encourage me to want to pick it up. But if I'm happy and excited, like like we're gonna make the environment better, my home is gonna be beautiful. I'm showing gratitude for what I have, and when I show gratitude for what I have, I know God's gonna open up the door to give me more. Because why would God give me more if I can't handle what I have? If I don't appreciate what I have, like I'm gonna give you a bigger house. Why would He give me a bigger house right now?
Yep.
I can't handle what I have.
There you go.
So, yeah. Okay. So that's all I got to say about that.